Another NASCAR silly season domino has fallen as it has been announced that Andres Perez will join Spire Motorsports in the Craftsman Truck Series in 2025. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to your video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty massive and major breaking news. It has been officially announced that Andres Perez will join Spire Motorsports in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in 2025. He will drive the number 77 truck full-time. Chad Walter, who was the crew chief for Roger Carruth last year, will be the crew chief for Andres Perez in 2025. Here's a statement from Spire Motorsports today. Spire Motorsports signed 2024 ARCA Menards Series champion Andres Perez to pilot the number 77 Chevrolet Silverado full-time in pursuit of the 2025 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Rookie of the Year honors. Here's what Jeff Dickerson said about this. As Spire Motorsports continues to look toward the future, it's important that we identify who we expect to be long-term contributors to the growth of not only our organization, but to the sport as a whole. Andres Perez has been a very bright future. He has a huge upside and is already intrigued into our processes and methods of preparation. We're thrilled officially to add him to the Spire family. Here is what Andres said about joining the team. It's such a great opportunity for me and one that I've been working extra hard to get since Perez. It's awesome to work with a team like Spire and what that means to me as a driver, having so much experience and very accomplished people working with me to make the most of this opportunity. I think I'm looking forward to the competition more than anything. I'm ready to step up my game and ready to work on getting the most out of every race. Daytona can't come soon enough. All the new tracks I'll be racing will be another big challenge. I am really looking forward to it. Andres Perez did make select starts in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in 2024. He actually, in his debut at Worldwide Technology Raceway, also known as Gateway, had a very solid debut where he finished inside the top 10 after qualifying 16th. Now, granted, there was some strategy that came into play, but he stayed up front a lot of that event and finished inside the top 10. Andres Perez, like it was already mentioned, did win the ARCA Championship last year in 2024. Now, Andres Perez, in my opinion, is a solid driver. He's not someone that I expect going into this year to be a major threat for the championship, but I think that Andres Perez is someone who I think does have a lot of potential. Now, granted, in ARCA last year, he did not win a single race. In fact, no full-time driver last year in ARCA went on to win a single race at all. The only two drivers that really dominated this series, and there were only 4 drivers, I believe, that went to victory lane, and none of them were full-time drivers. The 2 guys who, of course, dominated were William Swalch and Connor Zillage, who, of course, will be full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this year. The other 2 that went to victory lane were 3 that went to victory lane. One of them is, of course, full-time in trucks this year, that being Connor Mosack, and you also do have a couple other drivers like Tanner Gray, who's back in trucks this year, and, of course, Gus Dean also won a truck race and ARCA race, and Jake Finch, who's back in ARCA part-time, also won a victory last year. I think that Andres still probably should have gotten a couple wins. He's been very close to winning races in ARCA, so I think this is a very solid move and not a very surprising move either, considering the fact he's been linked to this ride for the last couple of months. This isn't really shocking and surprising to me. Now, what are my expectations for Andres going into 2025? Realistically, I think Andres will have a very solid year. I think he will be a playoff contender this year. Granted, there's a lot of competition that's going to be competing for those playoff spots this year. You've obviously got his teammate Roger Carruth, who will drive the 71 truck. And speaking of which, we are expecting that Kevin Bonio Manning will be the crew chief for the number 71, which I think that's going to be a really dynamic pairing over there. There's also, of course, going to be other drivers like Chandler Smith in the 34 for front row, Lane Riggs in the 38 for front row. You've got Corey Haim in the 11, Gio Ruggiero, who's driving to 17. You've got Tony Breininger, who's driving to 5 for Tricon this year. You've got other big names like Connor Mosack and Macanelli Hilgeman. You've got other big names like, of course, Daniel Hemmer coming back down from the NASCAR Cup Series to drive the number 19. You've got Jack Wood in the 91 truck this year. Frankie Muniz is going full-time this year, even though I don't think he's going to be a major threat and contender. You've got Dawson Sutton going full-time this year. You've got some really solid competition in 2025, and I think Andres being the ARCA champion last year and also being a contender for the NASCAR Mexico Series Championship over the course of the last couple of years, I think this is a solid opportunity. Realistically, for Andres going into this season, I don't expect Andres to win a race. I think he will be close to winning races, and I think he will get some top 5s and probably some top 10s throughout the year. And I also do think he will do better than Chase Purdy did in this truck. So I think Andres is a more talented driver than Chase. Speaking of Chase Purdy, where is he headed in 2025 is a big question some of you are wondering. I don't expect Chase Purdy to be in NASCAR at this point. It seems like, especially with his Instagram bio that he's updated recently, I don't expect him to be part of this program or any sort of program unless he does go part-time. But I think his time in the sport may be done as a whole currently at the moment. Now, moving on to some of the other Spire trucks for the year, we're still expecting 2 other Spire trucks. We do know one that's already had some confirmations on it. The number 7 truck is going to be driven by Corey Day for 8 races this year. We're still thinking Kyle Busch will be in that truck for a few races. Michael McDowell's name's been mentioned as a possibility. Carson Hocevar I would also expect to be behind the wheel of that truck in some way, shape, or form. I would not rule out the possibility of a Shane Van Gisbergen or Connor Zilch having the opportunity to run in that truck this year, considering the really big technical support from Hendrick and Chevrolet, and Trackhouse has an association a little bit with Spire Motorsports as well. I also would think that Brendan Butterbean Queen is a name to watch out for to be a potential possible candidate, considering he'll be driving for Pinnacle, and Pinnacle's had a pretty big association with Spire Motorsports in the past. And then, of course, there's going to be a 07 truck out there on a part-time basis. Some of the drivers that I just mentioned a second ago, I would expect to get behind the wheel. I think Andres will be, like I said, a borderline playoff contender in 2025. Does he make the playoffs? That's definitely up for question for sure. I think he's got a good opportunity and chance because, again, like I said, there's other people I forgot to mention. Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes, 2 guys that I think are going to be fast. And I think that we'll see Andres have a decent chance and a decent opportunity in a pretty competitive team because Spire Motorsports is a team last year that really grew. You continue and add the Rev Racing side of things, and I think this organization got like 5 or 6 wins last year because Nick Sanchez got 2 wins, of course, moving up the big machine. Raja got his first career truck win, and then, of course, you had Kyle Busch get 2 victories, and I think there's some other drivers who contend with the Spire Motorsports organization win races, and Spire is a team that continues to grow. They're going to have a Tier 1 support from Hendrick Motorsports going into the year. They're going to be a Tier 1 Chevrolet team in Cup, and their organization continues to grow and develop in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. So I'm excited to see what Andres Perez can do in 2025. We'll see what he can do with the Spire Motorsports organization, but trust me, I don't think there's going to be any worrying about it because I think he will be a playoff contender with Spire Motorsports in the 2025 Craftsman Truck Series season. So, that is going to be today's special breaking news report on Andres Perez de Lara. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's get some more of that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What are your expectations for Andres Perez headed into 2025? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And do you think he'll be a contender for the championship or not? Let me your thoughts in the comments below. There probably will be more news videos dropping throughout the day on the channel. Tomorrow we're going to have a double recap day. We're going to have 2 back-to-back videos dropping tomorrow with all the news that continues to break. Saturday we're going to be doing an update to the sponsor silly season stuff, and there should be some other content dropping. We've got Rolex 24 race review coming as well. There will be content on people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Cletus McFarland, Matt DiBenedetto, you name it, Lane Riggs. I'll probably talk about him at some point. Connor Zillich, Junior Motorsports, Martin Church Jr., Chandler Smith, who we talked about with Garage 66 yesterday. There's a lot of great content dropping. We're only about a week away from the start of the season. I can't wait to get 2025 underway as we close out the month of January and get close to the start of February. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content. And keep an eye out for some content on Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creek, Cars Quaffle, all this stuff too, very, very soon on this channel. Take care, everybody.